Hello, 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 and welcome to my podcast, Life with Jode, where we talk about anything and everything. On today's episode, we have Billie-Louise, who is a TikTok content creator specializing in beauty and also dabbles into fitness and lifestyle. She's coming on to talk to us about her experience with TikTok, how she's been able to quit her part-time job and focus more on her uni studies along with creating TikTok content. We will be dabbling in her acne/rosacea journey and along with her weight loss, fitness and Mounjaro journey. So without further ado, let's welcome Billie-Louise.
I am Billie-Louise. I'm 21 from Paisley, Scotland, and I'm a content creator on TikTok.
And what kind of content do you create?
I basically specify in more so beauty content, but I do also do a bit of weight loss and lifestyle content.
And how did you get into that?
So I actually stumbled into content creation a wee bit accidentally. I started off last year by trying to post a day in the life every day of the year. I wanted to post once every day, just to kind of get the ball rolling and get past the 10k followers I had started off last year with. In October, I made and uploaded the quickest and rushed Get Ready With Me ever. It was just like, I think just over 2 minutes long. Put a sound on it and went, yeah, that'll do. Send it. That night, I'm pretty sure I'd already hit 1 million views. And from there, it's just snowballed into what it is now, and I haven't looked back, basically.
So what kind of like change in life has this brought you by obviously being so...
Kind of like overnight, basically, my account went kind of boom. I think the next morning I woke up and I already had like 50,000 followers. And that was just, I think it was like mid-October as well. I don't even think it was like start. It definitely was like mid-late October. And now I'm sitting at 124.5k, I think. Something like that. I didn't check it this morning, but it was something like that. And in that time, I've left my old part-time job, and I've just focused on that full time. And it's brought other stuff along with it. So like there's like been a few like wee like collaborations and that I've had as well. So like it's bringing in good work. So yeah, it's changed quite a lot in the sense of I always wanted to have social media as part of like, oh, it's a wee side hustle and that, and then I'm just like, alright, okay, it's not just a side hustle now.
And I'm gonna assume that you enjoy it.
Yeah, I absolutely love it because I felt like I was taking away the makeup side of my page for a long time when it was doing the days and lives and that, but I wasn't sitting back at 10k followers. I was like, I don't really want to be making makeup content. I don't know what I'm doing. And I feel like I just maybe don't have the audience for it. Whereas when I was going live, I was doing a lot of makeup. Like it was always get ready with me to go out, and a lot of people were liking and engaging with that when I was getting ready on a live. I never once thought to do a get ready with me to post. It never really crossed my mind that that could have been a thing to do, and then I was just like, I'll just do it because I did really enjoy it. But then I was just like, oh, it's just a basic one. I was just like, I may as well just post it and see what happens. And then history.
I feel like you might have already answered this question. So you say that you've always really wanted to kind of like have social media as a side hustle, and is it always been focused on the makeup aspect of things, or is it always, have you wanted to dabble into something else, maybe like fashion or...
With the way it kind of works out now is I've always loved makeup, been doing makeup since I was like 12 or 13. Obviously that's quite a while now, so I don't like thinking back to that age and thinking, oh my god, that was like nearly 10 years ago now. Don't like looking at it that way, but the way I'm kind of sat right now, like I'm sat my makeup set up, I've got like the OG Alex 9 drawers beside me right now, and 2 of them are just filled with makeup, and it's just that way. It's like I've been collecting and going through stuff over the years, figuring out like what I like, what I don't like. And I think it's always been in the back of my mind, I really did enjoy it, but I thought that was only like live content. I do kind of want to dabble a bit more into fashion and that, but right now it's very hard to like find my style as well. So along with that, and I do a wee bit of lifestyle and that, but also it's a lot of engaging with trying to what works for me with my content. But I'm like, I did start off with a lot of days in life, so I'm like, maybe if I post like, it goes through the whole analytics thing and working through them and kind of that way going down them to try and figure out what does work best to still engage with that type of content, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Trying to like merge the two together somehow
Yeah,
to then slowly maybe just
like
move away
incorporate it in
from
that.
action. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I also study marketing as well, so for me they really go hand in hand together now.
So is that what you're doing in
Yeah, I do international marketing.
and how
So
long have you done that for?
I've started that for, well, I'm in my second year now, so I'll be going into my third year in September. So then I'll have another 2 years, third and fourth year, but it's fine. It's fine.
Do you enjoy it, even though it's
I
not?
do. I really enjoy it. I done accountancy and finance for 2 years and then I dropped out. It was horrible, horrible. But I was also having to drive to Edinburgh every day. So that's like a good hour.
Right.
It was even worse. So like, see if I had a 9 a.m. on like a Monday morning, I was leaving at the back of 7. I couldn't leave at 8 o'clock. Like I had to leave at the back of 7.
Yeah, because if not, you'll get stuck in all the traffic as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes I was driving that way, all that way for 1 hour classes. Like that's how brutal it was.
Pointless.
I know.
So, how do you go about social media and the good and the bad? Because I do see a lot of empowerment from girls with girls and all that jazz, but there is also people that will comment on people's size, people, obviously, you do suffer with acne and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
It does get to the point where I really struggle to open the comment sections. I feel like there'll be certain ones that stick out that really irk me. So I don't know what it is. Like there'll be certain ones and they'll comment and it'll just hit me the wrong way when I see it. Like most of the times there will be comments and they're absolutely ruthless. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, bye bye. And then there's some of them I read them and it irks me. Don't know what it is. And I'm just like, that and I respond, which is so unlike me. They're like, I was like, after I'd already lost like 4 stone or something, and someone turned around to me and they're just like, it would help if you tried the gym. I've lost 4 stones. You should try eat healthier. Calorie deficits. I was just like, I don't know what it is, but it's like, I was like those things. I always go by the 10 second. I think it's like, is it a 10 second rule or something? If someone has something wrong with them and they can't fix it within 10 seconds, you don't tell them.
Mm.
There's like, you don't tell them about their weight, you don't tell them about like scars, but you can tell them about food in their teeth. Like
Yeah.
food in the teeth, I don't know, a thread of string on their jacket, a stain. Okay, maybe a stain doesn't work in that sense, but like things like that. But like obviously, do you know what I mean? You
Things like
don't point out
easily
the
change.
harder things.
Yeah.
So it's that way where it's like I kind of deal with it in that way. It's just like I just kind of I let them do what they want. For me, it brings engagement. Sometimes it can be that way. I'm just like, someone said before, you're only making money because of the haters, and I'm like, but they're bringing the engagement. I don't like looking at it that way as being like the reason my social media is doing well enough for me to make it a job is basically by me getting hate. But at the same time, I'm like, it's bringing the engagement because when I do eventually suck it up in a sense and look through the comments, I can actually see where it kind of then brings on the more positive engagement, because realistically they're boosting my posts if anything just by interacting with them, which means more people find them and then the better kind of people kind of come and find them. So I'm just like, it almost balances itself out, but it does get also to the point where I just don't look at the comment section and I feel bad about it because some people could be so lovely and I avoid them.
In lockdown, I got promoted to shift manager at McDonald's, and I did like a little transition video from a crew trainer to shift manager uniform and everything. And I changed my hat into the scarf.
Uh-huh.
And for some reason, in different counties,
Yeah.
the scarf colour represents a different part of where you work alongside the colour of the shirt, apparently. So I was getting some ruthless, because I've deleted the video now, like if you try to
Yeah.
find it, you probably won't ever find it. But there were some ruthless comments in there. They were like, you're a faker, you're only dining area staff, you clean tables for a living and all that. And I'm just like, hold up, I actually did all my courses. I sat in 3-day full
Yeah.
long meetings to get to where I've been. I've done first aid training. I have put up with so much shit.
No, no wonder. I left before I could even go to manager, but I did not want to do that.
I was like, I was so proud of myself, but then
Yeah.
comments, I was just there like,
I know.
it's just a transition video. Get
I
over it.
know.
Stop hating on me.
Could be a lot worse things being done and you're getting salty over that.
So I have seen a TikTok about you not wanting to make social media a full-time thing. Do you want to explain a little bit about that?
So obviously, like I kind of said earlier, I never expected social media to be the way it was. Never expected it to be kind of like my job during uni. I never really expected social media to ever kind of take off the way it did and to be making me the kind of money that it is. And obviously I'm enjoying it a lot, but right now I think, so I'm actually 2 years behind where I should be when it comes to uni. I should have been graduating this summer, but because I dropped out my previous uni, I was just like, I'm a wee bit behind. So in my mind, I'm like, I need to be making the most of this uni experience. I need to be getting as much experience, like within the job sector for marketing. I need to be doing and taking every opportunity possible. Like, I need to be taking all the opportunities because although for me it's like a work opportunity, I can then put that into my CV and be like, I work towards deadlines. I can be flexible with my time management and accommodate work trips, things like that. So I obviously have ended up in a really fortunate situation, and it's not one that I wanted to then wiggle out of. But the thing with social media is you are so unsure of what your income's going to be month to month. You will never know what your income will be, and that obviously has been an impact on kind of the way I'm looking at it the now. So the now I'm looking at kind of going into like boots and all that, just a wee bit more hands-on, fun job, I suppose you could say. I don't know. Some people in boots might, watch this and think, the hell's she on about? But do you know what I mean? Like a wee job, more so for the summer, because I know for a fact I'll make maybe one day I'll make 4 videos there, say. I'm not wanting to go and sit here every day and do 4 videos because I also need to be doing the edit and everything like that. And don't get me wrong, I'm going to put the effort in and, create the content. Like I will not drop social media now. Now that I've got it to a place I'm, proud and happy with it, I'm not going to stop making the content. But what I do need to remember is I also need to get out the house. And because mine isn't like gym based where I can go film in the gym, it'd be very weird for me to go film in the gym and then upload that. I think a lot of people would look at me and go, what are you doing? That's not your account content. No. Some people have asked for it, don't get me wrong. I would make like the rare one off video like that, but it's not something I could shift my whole brand to. So it's that way, it's like the now I'd like to get out more, I'd like some more like retail experience, and I'm obviously maybe thinking of going into like the beauty cosmetics industry anyway, so I think it definitely some retail experience under my belt would help. So it's like I'm trying to think future as well, but I'm also trying to think of like stable financial situations as well at this point. So it's just kind of that way where I'm like, in future I'm also going to change into a proper career anyway.
Yeah.
But right now I'm also that way where I'm like, I kind of want like something where I'm getting out more and interact more with other people. So it's just kind of the way I'm looking at it now instead of just, I'll just sit at home and make my video.
No, completely get that. I don't have a clue what I want to do in my life though, so a bit in a minute. Do you want to go into the history about your acne at all? And
Yeah.
when it started, how quickly it got worse?
So I've actually got rosacea. It was only recently that I actually found this out, and I've not really made it common knowledge at this point that it's rosacea. It was obviously, I think the way it looked made it look a lot worse. This is what I said, going to the doctors and going to a dermatologist. So basically, wanted to say it was the last year I noticed my skin flaring up. I think it's maybe been the last probably almost 2 years. Maybe not quite 2 years, but definitely over since last January, because I thought it started when I was starting to lose weight. Starting before that. I didn't realise. But it was just a little bit. And I let it go untreated for a very long time because I didn't really think anything of it. I just thought I was maybe having like a really bad breakout for whatever reason. I'd lost my period, as what I say, for maybe like the good chunk of 2-3 years maybe. I don't know. I can't really remember the whole way that lined up, but it wasn't good. And I was just like, maybe like my period's gonna come back because I'm starting to break out quite badly, and it just didn't get better. Like the redness and that would go down, and I have like some spots. I was like, oh, it's nothing, and then it continued just to get worse. And then last year is when it got bad, like really, really bad. My whole face was just red. I'm pretty sure a tomato looked less red at that point. Like, if I'm being brutally honest with myself, that's kind of the way it was. And it was just all textured in that as well. And it was just never hurt or anything. And this is the thing. a lot of people were coming to me and like commenting on like that one video that had blown up, and I'm like, this looks painful. Is it sore? And someone would go, yes, it's very, very sore. My skin on your face? Anyway, it was like a lot of them were irking me. I'm just like, you don't know, but if I go through every comment, I'll be there all week. But if I go through every comment and tell you it doesn't hurt, it's not sore, it looks worse than it is, folk are going to turn around, you're in denial, da 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 da. I'll fully put my hands up, it never once hurt. I could touch my face and everything, and yes, it'd be a little warm from time to time, but it was never like sore. Whereas now I've started like Roaccutane, and my dermatologist has recommended specific products. So I'm currently working with having the two of them and just trying to shift it really. I had been given another medication from my GP to start with and a gel, but I was very lucky to be able to get in with a dermatologist quicker than expected. So we just kind of shifted that over right away and got me right onto Roaccutane. Within the first wee bit of her looking at my skin, she was like, although it's like a common misconception, a lot of people will straight away go acne, because at the same time she was also talking about getting me a referral for someone else due to the fact that she's very certain on the fact I have PCOS. Just from other aspects of me, she was just like, referral. I was like, okay, fantastic. And I was just like, right, okay. So I was like, right, Roaccutane, here's your recommended skincare regime, stick to it. And then I just kind of went with it from there. So that's been since about the tail end of February, I think I've been doing this since. And it's cleared up obviously a lot since then. I have been barred from the sunbed, so by my dermatologist, so I'm not very amused. But here we are. Use a fake tan out a bottle, but yeah, it's definitely came on a lot, but I was very much in denial at the start and not really sure on what was actually wrong with it. I wanted to have a rough idea of what was wrong with it before I went to someone. Like, that was my outlook. I don't like going to someone with half a problem.
Yeah.
I like to know the partial solution. Even if I'm going for help, I like to know the partial solution before I even go in there. I'm very stubborn.
I completely understand. I used to suffer really bad with acne, like really bad. It was everywhere, and it ended up causing me had to have acne cysts on like my
Yeah.
forehead. I think I had some on like my jawline. That's my cheekbone, jawline. Oh, it's too really. And I went to the doctors over and over and over again, and they put me on. I think all in all, I got 3 to 4 different tablets to take.
Yeah.
And then I had 3 to 4 different creams to use.
Aye.
I'm not saying it didn't work, because it did. It subsided it a little bit, but then my skin will get used to it, and it'd be like, come back, and it'd come back 10 times worse.
Yeah.
And then I'm just there like, okay, well, we're back to the beginning now. And it got to the point, I think it was just before lockdown, I went to the doctors and I sat there and I just cried. I was like, people comment on me, people look at me weird, my cyst will go and it'll come back, and my spots and stuff like that. And because I worked at McDonald's, the dryers, and it was just a whole scenario. And I was quite lucky to actually be able to get a dermatologist appointment during like the lighter part of the lockdown, you know, opening all back up. And they actually put me on some really quote unquote harsh acne tablets. It begins with an A. I can't remember for the life of me how to say it, but it was like you could take it between 6 to 9 months, and you can't go any further than 9 months. You also have to stick by loads of rules like no sunbed, no hot.
Was it Accutane?
I don't think so. It begins with an. I'm gonna have to find it now. I do have a picture of it somewhere on my phone, so hold up.
Because I'm on like Roaccutane, so I'm assuming that's just Accutane for rosacea, but it's like you cannot get pregnant, no sunbeds, it's like other stuff as well, and I'm like, Jesus.
Here we go. Oh no, it begins with an I.
Is it isotropine?
Isotretinoin. Isotretinoin. I will put it in the description below, so if anyone wants to have a look at what I took, they're more than welcome to. But I cannot say that for the life of me. But yeah, it was one of them really strict ones. You can't get pregnant, you can't do this, you can't do that. It basically in effect dried out my skin, which then caused me to have eczema all over the rest of my body. So I had eczema rashes, especially in like the joint of your arms and the
I've
back.
already got eczema, so I get that.
And I was like, and then because it dried out my skin, I used to get chapped lips, and I looked like the Joker at one point because you know the bits here, it'd just crack and it'd crack again, it'd crack again. Little scars there for a good year or so
Oh
after
my
I stopped
god.
him. And I was just like, this best be worth it. It's like, I hope it works. Around the 7-month mark, they wanted to try and take me off, but I then kind of like relied on it. I was a little bit
Yeah.
scared of going, okay, yeah, you say it's fine, but then what happens in like,
Well,
oh,
that's like me whenever I'm going to be coming off Roaccutane, I'm going to be like, no.
well, I ended up pushing them to the limit, so the 9
Aye.
mark. So I took it for 9 months altogether, and touch wood, the only kind of like breakouts that I get now are PMSing,
Yeah.
and then maybe if I've eaten too much shit,
Yeah.
I'll start getting a bit of a breakout. I'm quite lucky in the sense that it has actually worked. The rest of my body, I don't suffer with eczema anymore. Well, I do, but I don't.
Aye.
It's not as bad as it was, and the only issues I'm having now is just light scarring,
Yeah.
you know, like on my face from where I used to have the spots. So definitely advocate for yourself if you want help. That's my
Yeah.
people, and don't leave without bursting out into tears, because if you cry, then I feel like they're more than likely to help you.
If they see you mentally unstable, they may assist you.
Yeah, exactly. I was just there like, I feel like crap, like
Yeah.
picked on, people don't take me seriously, this is the job line I'm in. And they were like, okay, right. And then I cried about it because I was so overwhelmed. But I also suffered, I don't think I've really got rosacea, but in school, especially when I was bigger, in any point in any situation, if the focus was on me, I would go bright red. I would
Yes.
tomato. I would literally get called tomato. That was probably one of my nicknames in school. And then it'd just make it worse because then people are just staring and then commenting.
No, I know. That's the thing, like, so I don't know if this is area specific, right? Because obviously there's the area, I'm from like the Paisley, Renfrewshire area, but I grew up in Ayrshire. I think this might be like the Renfrewshire slang, but it's like we say like, oh, you're hitting a ready.
Okay, come on.
So it's like, see when you're getting like so embarrassed and all of a sudden you just go bright red.
No, that's
We say that like quite a lot, but to be fair, all of us get so embarrassed so quickly. Like we'll say something about one another and we just turn around and you see them and you're just like hitting already. But it's like that way they just turn around and I'm like, I think it is this area because I moved up here when I was like 18, 19, and then I started working up here as well. When I was like 18ish, so it's that way. It's like it's still quite new to me, like some of the slang and that from up here, from all my friends I had started to make up here. So it was just that way. I was just like, oh, that's new.
Do you reckon the environment that you used to work in didn't help with flare-ups and stuff like that?
So obviously I used to work at McDonald's as well. So yeah, no, that probably didn't help, especially with the hat. I feel like it's bad enough being around all the fryers and the grills and that, but see when you actually think about it, the hat is the worst part because a hat is so annoying to wash and dry. You are lucky, this is so disgusting. You're lucky if my hat get washed every 2 weeks.
Can't judge you whatsoever. I completely agree. When I was trying to take my tablets and everything, I thought this hat's just making it worse,
Yeah,
especially it'll rub as well.
yeah,
So then I was like, oh, can I just wear a hairnet? And they go, no. And I was just like,
I know. And like I could actually see like there was like near enough line of where it got worse as well, and I was just like, that's just not helping. And the thing is, like, there is no controlling that environment.
yeah,
Like as soon as you're in the back, well, not even the back, but like if you were in like the Bev cell or whatever, you are still walking about the store at some point, whether you had to go get stock or whatever. So you're walking through the kitchen, you are near the particles. You can't avoid it unless you're in booth your entire shift. You're not avoiding this. Like, because our window is obviously very close to the fry station. I'm pretty sure that's the same in most stores.
yeah.
But even then, you're too close to avoid it. Do you know what I mean? Unless you're literally up that booth. Even still, we had to come down to the very front. to ask the manager at the start of the shift, where are we going? So you're still walking, you're still having at least 20 seconds in front of a fryer the entire time you were in that shift, and that could just make or break for one person. So also that didn't help. And then not just with the actual environment, as in the physical environment, mentally, that environment done nothing for me. Like, the stress I went through, so I went up to crew trainer, but the stress that job put me through was ridiculous. I was getting really stressed and worked up over a lot of things, but being in that environment then just amplified it and did not help me at all. So the stress was just constantly on my mind. I was known to be snarky with people, but not snarky like, oh, bit of a bitch. More like, oh, like she's having a laugh with us. But at certain points it'd be that way where I would just catch someone so off guard, they're like, don't talk to her today. don't talk to her. And it was just that way. I was just like, oh, it's this, that, and whatever. But I was just that way where I also said when I quit, like on my TikTok and that, I was like, there is no story time. Like, there was nothing bad that had happened. But mentally, I think I was just going through too much on myself at that point as well, that it was constantly amplified in work. Like, there was no escaping it really. And then obviously with the actual like physical environment, you're no escaping that either until you quit and run for the house.
I always say to people, McDonald's is such a good first job. Like,
It is. I would never disagree on that. But
I enjoyed working. Well, I did 3 different fast food chains. I did Subway, KFC, McDonald's,
Jesus.
and all of them were such good jobs to work for. Like,
Yeah.
you get your foot in the door and you get customer service skills and all that jazz. And McDonald's do want you to progress, but it's also, if you are not mentally there, it will take
It's
a mental
yeah.
toll.
Oh yeah.
It did me once, and I was in such a hectic space in my own head, coming to work and then trying to tell people what to do, and then if someone's got an off day with you and you just
Yeah.
a brick wall and you're just like,
Nah, no.
the resilience is key.
Nah. I honestly think, how did some of the managers not actually snap with me? But a lot of them just don't know how to deal with emotions. So anytime something was wrong with me, they'd turn around and find the first female manager. Half the female managers didn't have a clue what to do either.
No one knows how to deal with
Oh no.
they don't even know how to deal with their own. Like, trust me,
No.
I don't know how to deal with my own mentality. So what other medications have you been put on for your acne, or have you not had many or any?
So for me, it was just the Roaccutane and then the like skincare stuff, like the suggestions and that. I was on, is it lie something? It was another form of like tablet. Obviously I'd got that through the GP, and then I had gotten a gel as well. So I used them and then I switched over. But from there, I haven't really tried anything else medical wise. So for right now, it's just sticking on Roaccutane. Although I've been having the dried lips and everything issue as well. It's horrible.
Did you ever try to kind of like quote unquote self-medicate like with creams and stuff? Because I know that I tried different types. I went to the body shop and tried different types of their
The tea
products.
tree stuff and all that.
Yeah.
Like that, yeah.
I tried loads of different simple stuff, and I literally tried anything and everything, as well as all the crap that the doctors gave me. Sorry, it wasn't really crap. It just didn't work out for me.
Yeah.
But then also what the doctors give you is stronger than what they give over the counter. And the amount of stuff, my personal stuff, that got ruined because it's got some form of like discoloration things in it. Because it, as I would say, it's bleached it because it had just stripped the colour from like pillowcases and clothes, stuff like that. And I'm just like, what the hell?
Yeah, no, like I tried, so like I love the likes of The Ordinary, the Inculus. I honestly thought when I finally started clearing this up via medication, I would be severely put off like my cosmetics and skincare brands. I'm not. I'm now a lot more interested in dappling in to try and find what does work for my skin. So like right now, yeah, I still have hair dye on my face. I still have glycolic acid. If anyone hears me say this right now, they're probably screaming, crying, no, don't use that, da da da. Yes, I'll use it, because see, when I get my hair dyed, it is the only thing, unless I go for a shower and wash my hair, but I've literally had it done yesterday, so I'm not doing that. If I take a wee bit of glycolic acid and go over like my hairline and any bits that are on my face, takes it right off. It works wonders. So I'm keeping my glycolic acid. I'm sorry, whoever that hurts. But yeah, I've tried everything. Like I've tried the glycolic acid. niacinamide, I've tried hyaluronic acid, I've tried everything. Like, I tried so many different like skincare products and that, and I was just like, nothing's working. The CeraVe face wash, I initially had like really oily skin. You'll know yourself with being on like some form of acne medication, also mine's rosacea, but they come out basically the same thing anyway, medication wise, with the side effects. I was on like an oily skin one, and then I was like, my face is feeling really tight afterwards. Somehow stumbled in a makeup-y, don't know what this was. Fantastic though. I was like Gran Canaria's version of Superdrug or something. I was in my element. I only went over with a backpack, which was an issue. But I found CeraVe, and it was like for bumpy, like dry, like basically everything my skin was. And I was just like, I will take 2 bottles. Didn't know how I was getting them home in a backpack. And then I realised, hiya mum, want to take these home? Don't remember my suitcase. And I tried it, and it stopped making my faces tight. And I was just like, oh, I'm finally on track with something. No, it just kind of, it worked a wee bit, but like nothing noticeable. Like to me, it was. One thing I noticed as well, I don't know what it was, but underneath my cheekbone and above my jawline, constantly, this would start clearing up. Every couple of days, you would start to see my skin colour peek through, and then it was just like, nah. It's like, no. But yeah, like, apart from, like, the generic, like, skincare stuff, I never really tried. I tried the Skin and Me, and they were like, oh, we actually can't help you. I was like, damn. Like, that was when I had the realisation. I was like, right, yeah, maybe need to get some help if Skin and Me can't suggest something for me.
Like the amount of money that I spent on
Yeah,
like home remedy my skin to get
yeah,
better, and I probably just should have
yeah.
asked the doctors more.
I like going into like Holland and Barrett and being like, right, what have you got? Just because it's like natural and organic and all that. I'm like, Billy, that does not mean you get solutions. You only get solutions if you know what your problem is. And as of right now, you don't know.
So, what kind of support have you had when you went to the doctors? Then also, what about family and friends?
So for the doctors, I went in and I was just like, look, this is the situation with my face. I'd only just moved to a new doctor's. Like, I moved to this doctor's maybe like 6 months ago. I don't know if it's been as long as that, but 6 months ago, roughly say. And for me to go to the doctor's, it was like over an hour to travel back down to my parents' house to go to the doctor's, which then usually ended up being a full day thing if you've seen any of my other videos. So I finally got into my new doctors, and I was just like, look, here's the situation. And they're like, alright, okay, looked at it. Oh, it looks really sore, it looks really inflamed. And I'm like, I don't know if it's just because I'm so used to hearing that, and because I know it's so far from the truth. Like, it just looked bad. And I didn't know how to stress it enough. I'm like, I was that way. I was like, it was hurting me more thinking that folk think I'm going through this really horrible, painful, everyday occurrence when I'm not. Like, how my face feels now compared to how it felt back in October, nothing's changed. In the sense of, like, if I was to press my skin and all that, it doesn't hurt. But everyone would think back then, if I was to do like that to my face, they're like, how are you not screaming in agony? It was very much always assumption. But when it comes to family, like my dad, it's that way. See, between like me and my pals, like my closer pals, or me mum, we very much bam my dad up behind his back. So like he'll walk in, he'll turn around, what's wrong with your face today? But it won't be anything to do with the fact that if I've had a breakout or something, it's generally like a, what's wrong with you today? I'll tell him, oh, my skin's been clearing up. Has it? I'll be stood in front of him with no makeup on. He's in one ear out the other. He listens to nothing. He doesn't pay attention. He sits in his foot. Like, my dad is just the, I don't even want to say the generic dad. I know it sounds like he probably just doesn't care, but like, he does care obviously, but it's still that way where he's just like, he's so oblivious to everything going on. It's actually quite funny. Whereas my mum, I'll phone her, you know, the usual, you phone your mum, you're right up there, you can see up the nostrils sort of thing when she's answering the phone on FaceTime. But she'll be like, oh, your skin's looking sore, or oh, your skin's actually looking better. Like, she will acknowledge it. And a lot of my friends have started to acknowledge it as well. They're like, oh my god, like your skin's getting so much better. And I'm like, why, thank you. It's not fun what I'm having to go through, but here we are. So yeah, like I do have a lot of good support, and also a lot of good engagements coming back again. Like a lot of folk are like, oh my god, you're glowing up. And I'm like, what was wrong with me before? I know what was wrong with me before, but what was wrong with me before? You aren't meant to say that. But yeah, it's just kind of that way. It's just like I do have the right kind of support, but also I have like the likes of my dad that kind of just makes it funny. But my dad, I think, struggled with something that's similar before, but it was never rosacea. It was very similar though, and he had it forehead and nose. So when my skin first started going like that, me and my dad and mum did all assume that it was something along the same lines as my dad. But obviously I've just kind of whipped it and went, nope, rosacea. One thing I will say though is, like we have both said, if you're concerned about something, fight for it.
Definitely.
Fight for it. I've ended up in a very fortunate position with being able to get it found out and all that, but if it's like the GP, just fight for it.
And if you have to, cry.
Yep, cry.
Next topic will be your fitness and weight loss journey.
I
So
like this topic.
if you'd like to go into what made you decide to want to go on this fitness and weight loss journey in the first place?
So, I kind of made rough videos about this before why I kind of started the whole weight loss. There's only ever so much I will share on this because it was a very traumatic event for me. So in July 2023 I lost my best pal and it shook a lot of people hard. It was very difficult to deal with, and partially one of the reasons I did struggle at McDonald's was we worked together as well. We'd known each other since we were very, very little. But where I live and where they stayed was the same street. So we grew up together because this this is kind of like near where my gran stayed as well and all that sort of stuff. So every weekend I'd be up, we'd be going down the street and doing whatever, 7, 8-year-olds like to do in their spare time. I don't know, load of rubbish out the shop and all that.
Mm.
But yeah, we basically grew up together. We stopped talking for a while and then obviously started working together. Blabbermouth was, oh, I know her, I live across the road from her. And I had one of the managers come up to me and be like, do you know who that is? And I'm like, uh-huh. I'm like, they're not shutting up that they know you. And I'm like, oh Lord, here we go. And so it was nice to like kind of rekindle that connection before I obviously fully lost it. And it took me a while. So from July to December, I think I was the heaviest I'd ever been. Easy, I think I was 25 stone plus. I was just like, I was constantly driving from my parents down in South Ayrshire up to Renfrewshire, and because I am a situation at the time, I was going to McDonald's and that, and then driving home late at night. Like me and my pals were like, we were hanging out by McDonald's, or we were going to the likes of there's this place in Govan in Glasgow called Tubby's. They'd done like desserts and all that. We'd go to places like that. My eating was just ridiculous. I didn't think I was eating a lot because I was only having like one meal a day. But that one meal was probably enough to feed like 2 or 3 people at that point. Do you know what I mean? I was kind of in denial as well. I mean, I knew the eating was going to go down the hill the morning I woke up after. No, it was later that night. My parents had ordered a Chinese and never told me. And my mum had texted me, we're away to bed, we had a Chinese, ordered you something, it's sitting downstairs. I burst into tears. I should have known at that point, this grief journey is going to be food related because I was on my bedroom floor in tears crying over a Chinese because I couldn't get it while it was warm. So it got to the January, I'm like, do you know what? I'm going to do this New Year's resolution everyone does. Because let's be honest, who completes a New Year's resolution? I don't know.
I did January. That was my New Year's resolution, and I
I
completed
should attempt that. I think I did attempt that secretly, but I'm always like, oh, I'm going to start 75. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I said I was going to stick in at uni. Bit of a questionable one at the moment, but anywho. I'm like, I'm going to lose weight. But I was like, I'm not going to do it on the 1st of January. Because this is how everyone sets themselves up to failure. This was me being delusional. So I was like, I'm going to wait 2 weeks. And then whatever the first Monday is after that, I'll start on that Monday. So I can have the after New Year's, I can settle in, start making some wee healthier lifestyle choices, and then that with me. We're just going to roll with it. And then took me about a month after that, and I got a personal trainer. A year down the line, I finished up with her, and I'm now with an online coach. I'm now on Mounjaro, and I think I'm coming up near enough 7.5 stone down. I didn't realise that. Because as far as I was aware, it was like the 6 stone mark. But last time I weighed, I was 17 stone 5.7. My first weight I have recorded from when I started my weight loss journey was 24 stone 9. So, yeah. But like I said, I was definitely at least 25 stone. So like, I always go off the 24 stone 9 knowing I'm trying to gauge how much I've actually lost. But I know for a fact it'll be more than that, do you know what I mean? So I'm just like, I'm just kind of pushing through, toddling through it. I have my days, I have my up and down days, but I think you need to give and take as they come. Because they're a huge part of it that a lot of people don't realise. And I think some people, I hate to say it, don't have the mentality for it. Because they get one of those bad days and they think the world's over and that's it. And then they've no interest in restarting again.
the
Whereas
thing.
some people,
I've effed up today. That's it.
yeah.
Not bothering
never doing it again. Because I had been like that. I was like, oh, a few months down the line, and I'm just like, oh, we'll start this again. We'll see how it works. And then I'm like, why did I stop so early on? I'm like, one bad day is not gonna, mess everything up. I think that's where the discipline and all that comes in as well. I was speaking to someone and they're like, oh, you're actually very disciplined. And I went, huh? I'm like, me? Disciplined? And we're like, yeah, well, you've lost all that weight. But I'm like, I don't even see it as routine now because I feel like I just don't do it right, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like I don't do this. Sounds so stupid to say because I know there's definitely a right and wrong way to do this, but I feel like I don't do weight loss right.
How do you?
Like, I'm like, oh, it's like, so my check-ins get done on a Tuesday, my coach. I'm in that gym Monday night getting in the rest of the cardio I've not done from the week. Like, that's how it works for me.
Like deadlines, especially like when I was at college and probably you now at uni, deadlines, you'll be like, oh yeah, I've got so much time, and then it'll be like, oh, the deadline's in 2 days' time, and then you just
Yeah.
you're clearing down and doing all the work.
And also, I've got like 3 reports due and an e-portfolio, and I'm like, I can't do this. Me getting all my extensions put in as well. And I'm like, I can't do this. I don't know what to do. And then I'm like, this gym's like, also the now it works-ish with me not really training as much. Also, I'm not eating as much with the Mounjaro. That's been a whole other story and other struggle. But it's kind of worked in a way of I can get away slightly with not having to worry because I'm not eating as much anyway. So it's that way they're almost slightly balancing each other out. Not the way I should be looking at it, but I can kind of get away with it in the sense of I don't need to put too much pressure on myself. I need to remember at the end of the day, uni is going to come first. Like, I've got my whole life to work out. I've got 4 years to complete this course. Well, I have longer, but I want to get it done in the 4 years, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's kind of just the way it is now for all that sort of stuff. And it has been a crazy ride, I'll admit. A lot of trauma in the background, but we keep moving, we keep going to hope for the best.
What was the reason for you starting Mounjaro and your Mounjaro journey?
So for me, Mounjaro was never really a thought about topic, subject, anything like that. I think you probably saw the video I'd done, because I'd done 2 of them covering this. Obviously, even the likes of weight loss surgery, it had been maybe mentioned to me before because I've always been heavier. Always been, I hate to say it this way because I know it's like very like, no, but like I've always been like the fat kid. Like, always a fat kid in the class. And as obviously I've grown up, it meant that I've ended up curvier. So I'm very grateful for that. It's currently with this Mounjaro, my waist is just coming in, so like my figure's great. I'm loving it. I always need to look for some positive because the loose skin right now is not my friend. So basically, like I said, I never really wanted to go on it, if I'm being completely truthful. It was never something that interested me. It was never something that crossed my mind. I saw so many people go onto this, but then I was like, I was getting the negative side of it on TikTok, the part that no one was telling you about, but I was also hearing about it in real life. So a lot of people weren't getting that, and they were getting sold the dream of, you are losing weight. You go on this, you have no appetite, you are losing weight. That's what a lot of people see and hear prior to ordering these. For me, it was like, I was like, I'm plateaued. I have hardly lost weight. I was struggling with a wee bit of binging for a while there, and I was just not doing good with it at all. And I was sticking around the 18 stone 7 to 18 stone 5 mark for a very long time there. I want to say like a good 4 months. Like, I start losing a wee bit and then it would stick again. I'm like, right, I cannot do this anymore. I was like, right, okay, what's the next step here? So eventually started getting talking, and I was just like, right, okay, bit unhappy about it. But I'm like, right, okay, we'll move forward with it. I was just like, if it helps, it helps. I'm doing a 3 months trial at the moment, so I'm kind of hoping that I can see what's going to happen there. And I was just like, I was so unsure about it though. I was just like, I feel like a bit of a tip for like kind of like taking the help. Like I said, I'm stubborn. I don't like going to something without a full solution or at least half a solution. I mean, an absolute miracle. I got a PT and then an online coach. That was so much more of me turning around and being like, I need help. But now I'm like, right, okay, I really need help. And it's like, it's to the point of like, I can't control myself. So I think I do need medical help at this point. Whether it was going to be therapy or something, God knows what, but I was like, anything. It's just like whatever I can get my hands on quickest. But I went on to it and I was just like, do you know what? I'll go on to Mounjaro and I'll give it a shot. So 3 months I'm doing, and then I calculated it last night after my last dose, I'll then have 4 weeks until I'm in America. Because me and Adam are going to New York. SOS. And Adam's already been shouting at me, you better have your appetite back for when we go to New York. I'm like, okay. But he's seen firsthand from me now, like, how bad my appetite suppression's been. And it is getting to a wee bit of a point. My mum and Adam are like, can you eat more, please? Please. But it's just that way. It's like, it's learning to adapt with it. So it is a wee bit of a hassle.
You've always got to adapt. It's, as we say in the bariatric community, the people that have had the weight loss surgery over the Mounjaro injections, the weight loss injections itself, is not a fix. It is a tool. And it's a tool to help you get to where you want to go. It's slightly different between bariatric surgery and weight loss injections. With the bariatric surgery, you have the physical side of things where you cannot physically eat anymore.
Yeah.
Whereas for you guys, you have the more of a mental side of things. So you get the thought and the smell of food will put you off. You don't get no food hunger.
Yeah.
It coincides great together if you think about
Yeah.
it. But there's always obstacles you have to get around. Like with me, my obstacle was I was hungry, my food noise was there, my head hunger was there, but the
Your
physical,
stomach couldn't handle it.
it couldn't do it. And then also because I was so hungry and I like to eat hot food and not like to eat cold food, this was so early on in my journey. I used
Yeah.
to like just shove food down my throat, forget to
Oh my
chew,
God.
forget to wait a minute, and then about 5 seconds later I'd be going upstairs to throw it all back up again because I've not mentally
Yeah.
put myself in that place that I need to be in for me to be like, right, okay, you can reheat your food if you need to. Even though I do prioritise proteins and stuff like that, like either of us on our journeys would need to do prioritising proteins.
Yeah.
I do like the thing of mixing my food together and having
Yes.
more than just one flavour, if that makes sense.
Yes.
But I hate it when people say it's the easy way out. It really, really winds me up. It grinds my gears.
Yeah, I'll be completely honest, and I know this is probably going to get me some form of backlash. Initially, and I'll put my hands up and fully admit here, I was naive as go. Now, I knew surgery one was never going to be an easy way out because it's going to take a massive toll on you because overall it is a procedure. It is quite a big procedure. That is a big thing. I was like, that would never be an easy way out in my eyes because it is literally a procedure. Like, to me, that's enough for anyone to realise not easy. Mounjaro, for me, I was so naive. I never really knew enough about it, and that's why I never really stood up and was like, I need the help, and probably could have went onto it sooner. It's because I was naive and thinking it was technically the easy way out. Now, to anyone that I've told so far, the appetite suppression, I will admit, right, this has been horrible, my appetite suppression, so this is not normal. I lost near enough £10. I think it was like 8.7 or something in a week from my third week on 2.5 milligrams. My third week in general on Mounjaro, and that should not be normal. I think it helps maybe boost most people up to about £2-3 loss a week. But on average, most people, like if you're just doing calorie deficit or whatever, most people are losing about £1 to £2 a week, sort of thing. So, £8 to £9 in 1 week, alarm bells ringing. But I never realised how much that would start to affect me. And I'm now realising where people are coming from, being like, Mounjaro isn't the easiest way out. Like, it's not an easy way out. And it's certainly not always like, there's definitely more, the easiest. I'd honestly say the easiest at this point is the calorie deficit and moving more because that is so easy to control.
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors in there. Now, don't get me wrong, like me who struggled with like the binging aspect of it, that can be a huge issue, especially if you're relying on scales to make your progress. Because then if you don't see the scales move, you are going to start getting a wee bit like alarmed in that. But with the Mounjaro, it's like I'm down to the 1 meal a day, but I'm trying to bulk it out. So I had a chicken pit and all that the other day, 138 grams of protein, but I had to be over 1,000 calories. So like I'm not eating. I've hardly bloody eaten. What am I like? I'm like, I know it's gonna just go like that if I don't eat. So I was just like, it is what it is, and we'll just go with it. The food noise gone. Like I see like stuff on Facebook now. Like I saw like, I don't know, a random like flourish flavour or something, and I sent it to Adam. I was like, oh my god, can we buy this stuff and make it at home? And I was like, yeah, and he was just like, are you gonna eat any of it? Or will I need to eat yours? And he went, I'm not complaining, but are you going to eat it? Cheeky. But it's stuff like that, and I'm just like, oh yeah, because in my mind I'm like, oh, like, we can go to this place or we can make this and we can get that to eat and all that. And then it actually dawned on what comes out my mouth and I'm like, I'll have a nibble of that and a nibble of this. I turned around to Adam the other day and I was just like, oh my god, can we do M&S picky bits next time you come up to stay? And he's like, you'll have an M&S picky bit. And he's like, that's just rude.
You'll
So
have
now
one
I'm,
bite and then you'll be done.
I know, I'm like, I mean, to be fair, right now I'm struggling to eat a kid's meal at Nando's. This is what it's coming to. I mean, I'm getting 2 sides of carbs, but that's not the point. But it definitely does take a toll on you because I was saying this to my coach, it makes you realise your prior eating habits. That is a big one for me. Is I never realised how much I was eating before. So I had messaged her before being like, look, I've binged. It's very rare that I do it. Well, it's been a while since I've done this. But here's probably why I've not been losing as much weight. That's fine, we'll try and get a sortie. I go on at Mounjaro. Oh my god. I was just like, nothing's appealing. I don't want anything. I'm like, it gets to like 9 o'clock, like 8 o'clock at night, and I was like, shit, I'm not 8. I'm like, I need to make something. But like, I maybe had like wee picky bits throughout the day. So then I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, it's all empty calories. I'm like, great. Now I need to make up like protein and carbs. But I'm going to use like 300, 400 calories today. But I'm like, but I can't go to bed knowing the fact that I've had 400 calories and it's like 100 calories of strawberries and then like, I don't know, a bag of crisps and like one of those wee Maryland bags of cookies or something. Like, I can't go to bed knowing that's all I've had. So it does play tricks on you sometimes, and I think a lot of people are naive to that and how mentally tolling it can be, because I still train 4 times a week. I train 4 times a week. I was up at 130 minutes of cardio. I've had it stripped off me down to 60 because I've basically been put in the naughty step and told you're not doing more cardio until you up your calories. I was like, okay, whatever.
Are you taking any supplements of any type? Like, because as a bariatric patient, I need to hit a certain goal of protein, but then also I need to do multivitamins and stuff like that, and I have to go for a regular B12 injection every 3 months to help with my energy levels. I know someone else on the Mounjaro journey, she said she's only just bringing supplements in, like vitamins.
Yeah, I'm about to start bringing them in as well. Long story short, I'm looking to do a big My Protein order. That's where I'm at right now. I'm just waiting to just do the big order because I need to get stuff like, I need to get knee sleeves and that for the gym anyway. So like, I have other stuff I need to be getting, but I need to get like omega-3 and all that as well. I'm currently on iron supplements as well, but I've always been borderline anemic when I was like back in school and that. I think it does take an actual toll on you, and obviously I was very naive and uneducated to make those assumptions based on Mounjaro at the time. So I'll put my hands up and admit I was wrong and actually salute. I was saluting anyone on it anyway. Like I knew for a fact whoever was going on it, they probably had good enough reasons. Like they knew why they were doing it for themselves.
Yeah.
And I would never discourage someone for knowing why they were doing something like that for themselves. But to me, because I was so naive and uneducated on what effects it actually has to your body, I didn't really know that I could stand up and ask for that help in a sense.
No, completely get it. Like when you've not gone through the journey yourself and you're kind of like on the outskirts of it all, you're like the outsider looking in. It is
Yeah.
easy to have
Like,
an opinion
yeah.
that isn't actually,
Like, you make the assumption too quickly.
yeah, definitely.
I think that's one of the difficult ones as well.
I'm so happy I did. Just taking the risk
To actually do it.
because everyone's different. Every kind of situation affects everyone differently. Like we were saying, I did a live yesterday on TikTok with a group of fellow bariatric girls, and we were saying it affects everyone differently. Like I couldn't eat properly for the first 3 months because no matter what I was eating, it was like my tolerance had changed for
Yeah.
food. So it's like you have to reintroduce foods to see what your body can tolerate.
Yeah.
It's a whole journey in itself. And then when you get to the point of you've lost enough weight to not fit into your old clothes, or you've got to your end goal type of
Yeah.
it's then you're on a journey now to find yourself. Like you've got this new body, you've got this new confidence,
Yeah.
what style that you want to have, all that jazz. It's always going to be a journey. And especially if someone wants to then undergo plastic surgery, removing loose skin,
Yeah.
getting boobs, because that is something that I need because I no longer have any boobs. Once I've had kids, you're on my to-do list.
So fair.
But yeah, definitely it's a journey, and if people don't like it, don't watch.
Literally.
If you don't enjoy what I'm doing, then
It's not for you.
scroll on, go find a different journey that you enjoy watching. but stop giving everyone else hate.
Yeah. No, I know, it's ridiculous sometimes.
It was lovely having you on,
Right,
and
thank you.
I would really love to meet you in person, if I'm honest. I feel like we'd get on like a house of fire.
I was thinking that.
I love your content, and I will
Right, thank you.
No worries. Have a lovely rest of your day,
You too.
and I will speak to you soon.
No problem.
Bye. I'd like to say a massive thank you to Billie-Louise for coming on to my podcast and speaking to us about her journey in TikTok content creating, advocating for herself in regards to her rosacea and her skin, and talking to us about why she has started her Mounjaro journey. If you have a story, big or small, please don't hesitate to get in contact with me via email lifewithjode@gmail.com. You can also get in touch via socials, which is at Life with Jode Official. You can listen to my podcast on Podbean, Apple Music, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. I also have a video version over on my YouTube channel, Life with Jode. And that's a wrap from me. I'll see you next time in another episode of Life with Jode.